Is Israel's genocide in Gaza threatening its own survival?
Any regime that commits genocide also commits suicide. There's no coming back from it. And this is what Israelis are seeing for themselves.
That's Shir Hever, a political economist who grew up in Israel. He argues that Israel's economy is hurtling towards collapse.
We're seeing a collapse of every aspect, every sector of the Israeli economy. There is no tourism, of course. The higher education system has collapsed. Professors, students are saying, well, there's no academic collaboration anymore with universities around the world. The high-tech sector is maybe the most important one, which is collapsing, with the biggest investment maybe in the history of Israel, this $25 billion that Intel wanted to invest cancelled.
Since October 7, about 46,000 businesses have shut down, and up to 60,000 are projected to close by the end of the year.
There's a financial collapse. The majority of Israelis have shifted the majority of their investments out of the country. So people, to protect their own pension funds, the insurance companies and so on, they're investing abroad.
And it's not just investments. Something else has been moving out of Israel. People. Lots of people.
I can speak about the experiences of people that I know, like family that I have in Israel, who are telling me you can't get a doctor's appointment anymore because so many doctors have left the country.
According to some estimates, 500,000 Israelis fled between October and December alone. And even within the government, no one seems to really know how many have left.
The airport would report the number of passengers in and out, but the population registry gives different numbers, the National Insurance Agency gives different numbers, and they tried to talk with the people at the Central Bureau of Statistics and get some order in all of this chaos, and they couldn't get order because so many people from the Central Bureau of Statistics have already left the country. So you don't have even the researchers who are able to measure how many people are leaving because they've left.
Hever says that this confluence of economic pressure amounts to more than just a financial crisis. He predicts that the state simply can't survive in its current form, and he's not alone. Several prominent Israeli experts from across the political spectrum have made similar observations in recent months.
Interestingly, it's coming from historians, from the right and from the left, Zionists and anti-Zionists, all of them in complete agreement that the Zionist movement has come to an end.
In May, 2 Israeli government officials co-authored a paper warning of a considerable likelihood that Israel won't reach its 100th anniversary.
The current system of injustice is on its way out, and I think this is not something very extreme to say these days.
Okay, so if you live outside of Israel, this might all sound a bit out of the blue. But Hever says that has to do with the way these stories are presented to international audiences compared to the conversations happening within Israel. Take this article by Israeli historian Yuval Noah Harari, which was published in both English and Hebrew. In the English version, the headline states, "The Netanyahu government is endangering Israel's survival." But the Hebrew version of the same article strikes a very different tone. Will we die with Palestinians? If we do not make a dramatic change, we are headed for a historic defeat.
A state which gives privilege to one ethnic religious group and doesn't give equal rights. This is quintessentially the Zionist project in its form that is coming to an end.
Hever warns that a long-term future for Israelis will require deep, systemic changes. And while there's no script for what comes next, Hever points to one clear model that Israelis and Palestinians could follow.
One path out of this fork, and the one that I am very much hoping that will go, is the path of South Africa, a path towards democracy. Most Israelis acknowledge that apartheid exists. Maybe they don't like to use the Afrikaans term apartheid, they use the Hebrew term, which is hafrada, but they acknowledge that this is the reality in which they live. There has to be a different political arrangement, and this arrangement cannot be an apartheid state.